Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Mole Trap here, coming at you with another StarCraft commentary. Another game from the MSL Top 100. And those blurry faces that you can see right now, on the left is fOru, and on the right is none other than Slayer's BoxeR. Very excited about this game. This is from the MSL Top 100. This is number 94. This is another game from the UZOO MSL. For some reason, the Top 100 list had like 4 games in a row that were from the UZOO MSL, from different parts though. I think it's probably just a coincidence though. Oh, did you see that girl in the background? She was like really excited, and then she realized she was over on BoxeR's shoulder and got a little shy. But in any case, old VOD, even less pixels than usual, I would say, but should be fun either way. This is, again, from the UZOO MSL. This is from the quarterfinals, so this was played in 2004. The Terran player is, of course, BoxeR, who probably doesn't need much of an introduction. The Emperor of Terran, absolute legend, and a nice guy as well. And our Protoss player is fOru, who might need an introduction because he's less well known. But in 2004, he was kind of on the same level as BoxeR, I would say. Maybe a little bit not favored. Although, if you look at the score on the bottom there, he is actually up 1-0 in this series. So BoxeR needs to make sure he wins this game if he wants to advance. But yeah, fOru was a player who he never became super famous, but in 2004 he was definitely a force. He got 2 silvers. He actually got a 2nd place in an OSL in 2004. He also got 2nd place in, if I remember correctly, the WCG Korea tournament to represent Korea in the World Cyber Games. So a strong Protoss player in 2004, to be sure. You know, and this is also, this is an era when Protosses were not doing very well. You know, there was a couple Star Leagues when like Reach was, or at least one Star League when like Reach was the only Protoss in the entire Star League, right? In this era. So being able to get into the round of 8 of a Star League as a Protoss shows that you're a very strong player. So fOru, definitely someone that deserves some respect here by BoxeR. BoxeR, though, you know, obviously in good shape in 2004 as well. She did again. Again, she was like happy and chewing gum, and then she saw that herself on screen and like was like jerked her gaze to the side. Anyway, so this game just getting off to a normal start here. It's an interesting depot. I wonder if that depot was just some. I'm not sure what the depot. I'm actually just like I have some ideas, but like that depot is just an interesting spot. It might be even normal for builds on this map at this time, but this is kind of a cool spot there. It might even be regulating the gas mining. It might be that he built that depot there so you have something to hide behind if there was an early zealot or something like that. Which is kind of an interesting spot. In any case, 4-player map though, and you can see both players kind of going in different directions for their scouting. Actually, what is fOru up to? Is he going to put some sort of hidden tech or proxy-ish tech or something like that over on the bottom right there? He's got a probe chilling there. What are you up to, probe? What are you doing? What's in your mouth? Come back here. Oh, he's just putting down a pylon here. And look, probe's actually wandering off again, so that's an interesting spot. It may just be that he's putting that pylon there just as like a future scouting pylon. Sometimes it's nice to have pylons out in random spots on the map as a Protoss player. They're of course a little bit vulnerable to, you know, being picked off, and you lose a whole supply in the mid game if your Terran opponent finds them. But they can be a pylon that the Terran isn't expecting to be there. Ooh, he actually picked off that SCV. Usually SCVs are just like immune to Dragoon shots, but he actually got that SCV in far enough. He was able to see the cybernetics core spinning, so he knows Dragoon range is being upgraded, but he didn't get down to the southern part of the base, so he wasn't actually able to see if there was any tech being built in the bottom there. BoxeR, by the way, is trying to hide this build that he's going for right now. He's got 2 Marines on the ramp, and just to finish that thought though real quick, the pylon can scout like a dropship that flies over the top or something like that, basically, is kind of, I think, the point of that pylon down in the bottom right. But BoxeR, he's got a factory, he's got a machine shop, and he's building several Marines. He's researching the machine shop as well, so it looks like BoxeR might be trying to go for a bit of an early push here, and he is actually pushing out with several Marines and a tank, and he was hiding this by putting only 2 Marines basically on the ramp. so that if fOru scouted, he would only see a couple Marines and he wouldn't know exactly what was going on behind it. Of course, fOru might be a little bit worried in general and might try and do something anyways. And look, he actually probably is researching mines, is what I'm expecting here for this. And there's the pylon. Actually might have even gotten a scout of these units walking by, and that might have been why he put that pylon there in the first place. The Dragoons are able to kite these Marines, though I don't think this is going to work very well. With 3 Dragoons there, he's going to be able to kite these Marines pretty well and deal with this force pretty decently until there's mines. Oh, is he going to try to bait him into that mine? Either way, he's pulling back here, so maybe fOru was hip to that possibility and was like, I don't want to go chasing these Marines into uncharted territory until I get observers out. The observatory just finishing now, so he will be able to pursue them very soon. But it looks like BoxeR, you know, just using this push to kind of put pressure on fOru and kind of take control of the map a little bit, and maybe force him to make some mistakes in order to get his expansion up. So BoxeR actually expanding off of this now. And so fOru is actually going to be behind economically if he doesn't do something to punish BoxeR for it, which he kind of could. See, this is what I was talking about. He's actually found that pylon with the Marine. He's actually going to be able to pick it off slowly and steadily and kill it off unless fOru moves out on the map and tries to deal with it. But so again, vulnerable spot, but might it have been worth it for him to kind of scout the vulture coming in from the side or something like that? I don't know if he did, but you know, either way, that scouting pylon might have been worth the while. Going up to a third gateway here as well. So now that the observer's out, he's going to be able to kind of go through that territory that he was scared to go through before, pick off these mines, and start putting a little bit more pressure back on BoxeR. Because BoxeR has mines on the map, he didn't have to build a bunker or anything like that to try and defend against the Dragoons. But now he has to be a little bit worried. He is going to pick off that Marine. Pylon gets saved. Leave no pylon behind. Oh, this is kind of cute. fOru expanding, but he's actually not trying to hold outside of that expansion yet because he doesn't have the forces for it. His forces are out hunting mines. So instead, he's just got 1 Dragoon on the ramp to make sure that no vultures wander up in there. And it looks like there was a vulture kind of looking around in that location. So it looks like things are kind of just going to stabilize into 2-base versus 2-base game here pretty momentarily. And yeah, the Dragoons have all come back home in order to defend those newly mining probes at the expansion base. So what's going to be the next phase here? What crazy thing is BoxeR going to do is my question usually. He doesn't have to do something crazy, but BoxeR is a very creative player, and that's why one of the reasons why we love him as a player. So we'll see what build he has in store, but right now he's just kind of sieging up there. Okay, this time she didn't dodge. She was just like, I just have to accept it. I'm living on BoxeR's shoulder, and every time they show BoxeR, I'm going to be in camera. I just have to not worry about it. So, she dealt with it this time. Anyway, Dragoon's kind of out a little bit onto the map. I think it makes sense for fOru to be trying to hunt those mines, trying to clear space out, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's got a nice little force of Dragoons with an observer here. He can try and start clearing things out, and actually the observer almost got a little bit too far away there. Is there a mine in this location? It looks like there is. It's just so blurry. I'm so sorry that this VOD is so bad, but you know, you kind of got to take what you can get with these older games. This is again from 2004, and the pixels have degraded over the years. It looks like looks like BoxeR actually even he's put mines at a bunch of the expansion spots so that if fOru tries to expand, he'll block it or see it. But he's actually landed his barracks at one as well, so it's a nice additional way. And barracks a little bit more beefy than a mine, although it's not invisible. And now going up to 4 factories here for BoxeR as well. Continuing to do additional research, getting the vulture speed probably in addition to the mines, so you can make sure you have those vultures out on the map. It's something that, you know, I guess I haven't watched too many BoxeR games from this era. I've watched some, obviously, I've casted some, but I haven't watched a ton, so it's hard for me to get a sense of his style, but at least I'm thinking of like Nada is, you know, the Tornado Terror. Nada is someone who's likely to get just a bunch of vultures out on the map, just be running around trying to harass, plant down mines, and what have you. And we might see BoxeR employ the same sort of thing. A 5th factory going up right now as well. So it looks like he is probably going to be... oh, he's going to take a 3rd base as well. Okay, so he's going to take a 3rd base and just continue to macro up off of those 3 bases here. He doesn't have a ton of tanks, but he's continuing to produce them, and with the 5 factories, he's going to be able to produce a lot of units. I think I only saw 2 machine shops, though, so he's going to be producing, excuse me, a good mix of units. fOru has already gotten his expansion up, his 3rd base, though. I don't know if he's mining from it yet, actually, but he's gotten it up and running, or up and warping at the very least. So yeah, it looks like things are, like I said, basically kind of even. There's some vultures sneaking around the map looking for some targets. Squad of vultures, you know, vultures really are kind of like real life vultures, right? They don't want to actually fight for their food. They want to be able to pick off, you know, the easy prey that's maybe just vulnerable or it's already been killed off by some other predator or something like that, basically. The vultures don't want to run in and fight the dragoons. They want juicy probes that are undefended that they can just go in and get free kills on, essentially. And so they're kind of roaming around the map, kind of sniffing around to see if there is any possibility of getting some munch on in that sense. But fOru's been doing a very good job of protecting it, you know. He's got his dragoons out there with their shotguns ready to hit and kill any birds that go after his livestock. And so BoxeR just kind of posturing for taking a third base instead. It looks like he's just going to try and spread his tank line out and make sure he's controlling that third base area so he can continue to macro up. Is he actually even probably thinking about taking a fourth base? He might have been. Yeah, it looks like he's. He is taking a fourth base here. A little bit interested in this move by BoxeR to move all of his tanks away from his natural up to that northern position to try to secure that. He may have been. It's really hard to see on the minimap here, but he may have been sensing or may have spotted that fOru was kind of heading that direction. He wanted to make sure he defended it, but leaving his natural a little bit open to some harassment potential, potentially. But he's put a lot of mines up in that northern area, so he's gonna have a lot of heads up if fOru does push through that area. And this is looking like just very normal TVZ mid-game, or would this be called late game? I think this would be called mid-game. This is kind of a normal mid-game stuff. fOru does have all of his tech up now, though, or a lot of his tech up. He's got the Templar Archives. That shuttle makes me wonder what's inside of it. If he's got Templar inside of it of some kind, either dark or high. If a Dark Templar, if a Dark Templar smokes some weed, is he a Dark Templar or is he now a High Templar? That's a terrible joke. It's probably been made before actually too, but for some reason I just now. All right. Anyway, moving on. It's back to the game. Stargate going up in an interesting location, a little bit hidden there. Is he going to try and do a carrier switch? He does have the Templar Archives, so he could be going for Arbiters as well, since that would be a little bit easier, a little bit more intuitive tech path, I guess, in that sense. fOru just kind of moving around the map again with a force of Dragoons. Both players just kind of content to just sit back and chill out for a little bit and get their stuff going. fOru actually venturing into this vast minefield that's been placed to the south of BoxeR's natural. BoxeR might have to move some forces back down to make sure he's defending against any pushes from that direction, and I think I can kind of see on the minimap he is doing so. No, he's actually moving his vultures, giant squad of vultures around to the top of the map. He said, all right, well, if your dragoons are out down to the bottom, I'm going to move my vultures around the top and make sure I produce additional mines here. Put additional minefields down so that he can make sure to protect things there. Okay, starport going down, science facility. What is this gonna be more factories? He's up to 6 or 7 factories, producing even more factories. So wow, he is really just, he's like, all right, you know what? I got 4 bases. That's all I'm ever gonna need. I'm just gonna produce a ton of units now. I'm gonna just super max out and make additional factories so that once we trade some blows, I can remake my units faster than you can, hopefully. And you know, win. I don't think the first battle will be decisive. I think the second or third battle could be decisive, though. fOru is actually, he's using that pylon from ages ago to produce some cannons now as well. And there we do see a fleet beacon and a second Stargate going up. So he is trying to switch into carriers. Not sure if he's going to go full bullish with the carrier switch and go for 2 Stargate production immediately. I guess he's going to probably do that, but he looks like he built the fleet beacon before the second Stargate was even complete. Oftentimes you'll see players will, especially in the modern day, I guess, they'll build 1 Stargate and they'll build a fleet beacon and a second Stargate at the same time. So they can just produce double carriers once that's complete. But fOru, again, using that earlier pylon to produce some cannons and block off this other expansion in the bottom right. So fOru going up to 4 bases? 5 maybe? I think he's up. I think this is his 4th base. So actually kind of playing catch up a little bit with BoxeR here. BoxeR already getting his 4th base up a little bit earlier. He's got a bunch of stuff there. That is a very, very large Terran army. Very vulture heavy though. Very vulture heavy, guys. And even though they're called vultures, they don't actually fly. And so they're going to have a little bit of a difficulty with these carriers when they pop out if he doesn't actually scout those carriers and start producing some Goliaths in addition to deal with the interceptors that are going to come raining down, because, you know, if he gets 4 carriers out before any Goliaths are out, and hold that thought, there is a major land battle coming in here. First of all, vultures are so numerous, though, that the Zealots cannot get anywhere near there, but he's actually dropping Zealot bombs and High Templar as well. Some nice storms on the tanks in the midfield are going to clear up his Dragoons to be able to clear the ones in the front field so he can push through the backfield, and BoxeR is losing everything. There was so many vultures, I didn't think he could possibly get in there, but he lost all of them. I think there was some mine explosions amongst his own vultures that might have been part of the death there, but BoxeR forced to fall back. His forces have been completely obliterated. He has one more chance, and I may have been completely wrong about the first battle being the decisive one, because BoxeR forced all the way back into his natural expansion. It looks like fOru doesn't quite have the Zealot count left. There was enough mines behind those tanks that the Zealots died. He didn't quite have enough forces to push all the way into that natural expansion to finish the deal. But BoxeR taking significant losses here. fOru obviously lost some stuff as well, but he's got those carriers building in the background to replace them, and he's got a lot of gateways, and he kept a lot of Dragoons as well. So I think fOru's in decent shape right now to be able to win this game. BoxeR has macroed up a lot of a few additional tanks and a lot more vultures though, out of that just ton of factories that we saw in his base earlier. So he has been able to macro back. He's not out of it yet. You can never underestimate a bunkering Terran, basically a turtle Terran. Oh, where's the observer? The observer's lagging behind the Dragoons, so the Dragoons are actually taking significant damage from these mines. The vultures coming in to try and force things back as well. Zealots getting on top of the tanks. The vultures not quite doing a good enough job. There's just not enough of them to kill off the Zealots quick enough, and the Zealots are going to be able to get right on top of the tanks. He's actually even pulling the Zealots back so the Dragoons can finish off the tanks to make sure that the Dragoons are killing off the mines instead of just taking free damage on those Zealots. There are Goliaths in play now, but Goliaths just aren't going to be able to do a great job against the Dragoons, which are now pushing into the top section of bases for BoxeR, and there's not much to defend here. He's pulling some SCVs, some Goliaths rallying in from the bottom right might be enough. He does have reinforcements that were protecting his natural that are going to be forced to reroute to the top, but it might be too late because he's already demolished all of those forces. If his forces had been one large army in the path of this group of Dragoons and Zealots, he could have actually held it off, but instead his army was split between the 4th and the 2nd, and so BoxeR now is in danger of losing that 4th base. Looks like he is going to be able to push in here with a lot of units and barely hold that off, but not after taking significant damage. Some SCVs were killed off. He lost a lot of tanks and other units, but again, you know, it looks like BoxeR's pushing this back, but there's still, you know, he's just loading up, you know, tamping down the powder, getting ready to fire off this cannon, which is the carriers that have not come in to be deployed yet, basically. He's prepping that weapon, and once he actually goes in for the attack with it, it's going to be devastating. But actually, if BoxeR is able to get a surround on these Dragoons, it looks like he is not able actually to... Oh, nice mines going off, and siege tank fire as well. Killing off several Dragoons. It looked like he was going to be able to actually micro well. It's so hard to tell if he's microing against the mines because there's just not enough pixels, basically. And the carriers are on the move, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like they are finally going to be employed into the field of battle. Can they turn... Well, actually continue the tide, I should say. I think fOru has the tide in his favor, and can they actually push BoxeR off the edge of the planet here, basically? Can he actually accomplish the kill with these carriers? There's only actually 4 carriers there, but he's probably got a couple more coming very soon as well. But again, fOru still macroing with the ground units as well, producing lots of Dragoons, High Templar as well. High Templar didn't have as much of quite an effect in that last battle, but oh, BoxeR actually tried to get a 5th base up here. It's going to go down very quickly to these carriers, so kind of a free command center kill there to rack up the points for that those carriers. And attacking in the middle of the map as well with the ground forces. BoxeR not sieged up. He's actually sieging the back tanks while he falls back the front tanks so they can siege up in the back. But Storms and Dragoons raining down onto those tanks are going to do significant damage. He's dropping on top as well. The shuttle actually goes down to some Goliath fire. So nicely done by BoxeR, but not too much damage done with those drops. But some significant Storms do make the front units vulnerable enough that the ground units are able to kill it off. But BoxeR is stabilizing though. And look at this, BoxeR going for a little bit of a drop as well. I can't even see where this, oh, this is the bottom right expansion. Dropping some vultures in a tank there. One Dragoon is all there is to deal with this. The vulture taking care of the probes that are trying to attack the tank. It looks like eventually it's going to go down. Maybe not though. There's one vulture's attacking the probes that are mining instead of the probes attacking the tank. Are the probes going to be able to get the tank as a result? He's finally turned his attention over there. Nope, the probes are still attacking the tank. Kill the probes on the tank. He does save the tank for now. Okay, so he's actually going to get a lot of kills. It looks like 11 kills on the tank and the vulture each. So that is actually he killed so many probes there. Very, very efficient drop. And you know, one of those kills was actually a Dragoon as well. Carrier is forced to reroute down to the bottom right just to take care of that situation. Very, very expensive drop. Well, not expensive for BoxeR, I guess, but a very damage. A drop that did a lot of damage. I don't know why I can't talk today for some reason. In any case, carriers now, though, again, doing the counterattack. That one drop accomplished a lot in terms of killing probes, but I think fOru can probably handle it. He's got 5 bases, I think, at this point, and so he's going to be fine rebuilding the probes, and he's just going to be able to rampage with these carriers. Look at this. Carriers going after the main area, while Dragoons and Archons run into the natural, and now they're going to group up together as well. Carriers going to get in on the free kill smorgasbord of the SCVs over here. High Templar coming in here, storming the Goliaths that are trying to defend. I don't know if BoxeR has enough stuff here to actually defend. He might be able to kill off the ground army if that's all that was there with the tanks there, but he just doesn't have enough Goliaths to deal with these massive amount of carriers. And it's just kind of almost amusing how blurry the interceptors are out on the map. There's so few pixels in this game, but again, the carriers are now able to bounce out of the natural back in the main here. He's going after the armories. If he can get that second armory killed off, it will stop production of Goliaths and basically ensure a victory for those carriers in the long term, as BoxeR will not be able to keep up with that. He actually should probably be building another armory in his 4th base or something like that, just to make sure he doesn't lose production of Goliaths, because now he has killed off those Dragoons. So it's just Goliaths versus carriers at this point. But now that he's got mostly Goliaths, the Zealots and High Templar running, actually a Templar just running in there on attack move and not actually doing any damage. So the ground units continuing to be killed off by BoxeR, but the carriers are just so strong at this point. He's able to, again, force BoxeR's Goliaths into the natural expansion to defend there. Oh, he's got a covert ops lab, ladies and gentlemen. Can he pull off something crazy with some miraculous lockdowns or a nuke or something like that to get back into this game? He's struggling to hold on, though, right now. Struggling to hold on with these carriers harassing his main base, and actually the carriers falling back for some reason here. Not exactly sure why the carriers are stopping the harassment. It looked like they were getting free damage on supply depots and armories and such, but he's instead falling back to regroup. A little bit puzzled by that move to fall back with the carriers. But, well, he's going back in. Maybe he just didn't want to make sure he had a few ground units in the area for just this reason, because the Goliaths, if they get on top of the carriers, can take them out very quickly. And he is going after the carriers, or gets one. And the Dragoons are going to come in with the Archons and defend from those Goliaths. But the Goliaths can't pursue any further unless they're defended by those tanks at the behind them as well. So now again, the carriers able to bounce back into the main base. Once those ground units are in the open of the middle of the map, the carriers can go into the main, and it's just BoxeR can't be in 2 different places at once, unfortunately. So he's forced to fall back, and there's actually several ghosts here in play. I'm really, really curious to see what happens here. Is this going to be a Pimpus play, ladies and gentlemen, where BoxeR's going to run in with a bunch of ghosts and lock down every carrier and finish them off with Goliaths? Can he pull it off? It's going to be difficult to. Even in the best of conditions, it would be difficult to pull off. But right now, he's behind, and there's more carriers than there are What is this dropship? What is this dropship doing? Dropship, what? What? Okay, I thought maybe the ghosts were in the dropship and that would just been a fatal error there, but the ghosts are still alive up there. BoxeR, it's interesting. BoxeR trying to take a base over here at the top left again, whilst fOru takes the base right next to it. It's kind of amusing. And again, the Goliath able to pin down the carriers and do some damage. He takes out 1 or 2 carriers. 2 carriers go down before the Dragoon's able to get in spot there. So can BoxeR actually claw his way back into this game by taking out some of those expensive carriers for free when he has an opportunity to do so? Oh my god, he's got like a dozen ghosts! Oh my goodness, he's moving out now. Can he actually get some lockdowns on him though? Is he gonna actually even lock down the Dragoons maybe? The ghosts are hiding. I think the carriers are going in after the ghosts, but the ghosts are falling back here. It's so hard to see what's going on. If there's, he's actually hiding some of the ghosts inside the dropship, I think. What's going on here? I can't even see what's going on. Where are the ghosts? There's just turret fire going off. I think the ghosts are all dead, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think he actually got off any lockdowns or anything like that. It was so hard to actually see what happened, but we didn't see any lockdowns go off, and it's really unfortunate we didn't get a clearer view of what just happened there. But it looked like the ghosts just all died to the carriers. Maybe they didn't have lockdown research yet or something like that, or cloak research. And so the carriers actually chasing down. Let's go ahead and see if we can see this again real quick. So you can see the Goliath, one of the ghosts died right there, and the carriers are just pursuing them up there. Another ghost. Okay, you can spot the red spots. That's how you know the ghosts are dying. They're trying to run. He tries to hide the ghosts inside the dropship and drop them up in the top right here. Another ghost died. Another one. Yeah, you're seeing the spots of red as the ghosts are running away. And maybe he just didn't have lockdown researched yet or something like that. He might have researched cloak first, or I don't know what happened there. Well, no, he would have cloaked the ghost if that was the deal, unless there's an observer there. But either way, BoxeR setting himself up for elite super pimp move and just couldn't quite pull it off for some reason. fOru takes the game. That's very disappointing that we didn't at least, even if he lost the game, it would have been cool to see BoxeR lock down a bunch of carriers and then lose the game still or something like that. Would have been fun to see, but at least BoxeR has that lady over his shoulder who's still really happy to be here, and not as shy about being on camera. Her friend even lifting her face up. Probably talking about that right now. Anyway, fOru takes the game, and I think that means he takes the match as well, so congrats to him. And yeah, well done by fOru. Oh, man, just so disappointing we didn't get to see the I wonder why. Anyway, I'll just leave it at that. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, despite the fact that that is like one of the blurriest VODs I've ever seen. But you know, it's what all we can do for these old games. And I was actually wrong. It was a 2005 game, not 2004. My bad. You can see at the top there the date on the VOD. So hope you guys enjoyed it though. Thanks for watching. GG. And the stop recording button is